What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 108 of Knee Brace Radio. As always, presented by the Wave Media Co. It's another edition of Let's Get Weird Wednesday, August the 18th, the year of our Lord, 2021. Nick, you look tired. I don't know if it's because you're moving or what.
Yeah, this move.
It's just life.
I mean, life's been beating me down for almost 28 years now, but this move is just. Now I know why people stay in the same house until they die.
So when Kaylee and I were going to move a while back, she's like, well, I mean, it's a good starter home. And I'm like, I don't want to keep moving. Like, we packed like a little bit of our shit and I didn't want to keep doing it. If I buy a house, I might as well be buying a coffin. What did Dwight Schrute say to Michael Scott when he was like, it's a 30-year mortgage. You're in your mid 40s. He's like, Michael didn't just buy a condo. He bought a coffin. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah. I mean, now I get it. I've never understood. I'm like, why don't you upgrade the house? Why don't you, as people buy their starter homes, as Kaylee's saying, they buy a starter home, then a few years later, you're doing well in life. You've paid down that mortgage a little bit. You can turn around and sell that house, make a profit.
Mm-hmm.
And we can get a little financial here. Show that we have some spectrum here, some range.
Literacy.
Yeah. Hey, if I had this house for 5 years, 5 times 12 is 60. That's 60 payments on the house. If I'm paying $1,800 in principal for 60 payments, you do the math. I'm not fucking doing it.
It's a lot of money.
You're
creating what they call equity.
Yeah, I have to imagine it's almost $120,000.
It's a good chunk of change, I'll tell you that much.
Almost $120,000. And I'll tell you right now, Kyle, you couldn't pay me $150,000 to do this again.
You couldn't. It's just simply a fact. I mean, it would be $108,000. I did that in my head while we were talking.
Okay, I did say almost 120,000.
I didn't do it in my head. I did it on the calculator. Is there any bigger flex than people that can do like multiplication and long division in their head, like big numbers?
Oh, I see.
That's a big flex.
I can't do division, but like multiplication tables. I'm not talking like, okay, like I can do some big multiplication, but I'm talking like, I mean, just sheerly from having a big dumb sports brain.
You could do math scores in your head.
Oh,
like not math scores. Like I'm saying, like football scores.
My seven tables.
Fantastic.
Like back of my fucking hand.
It's like when you're in mid-season gambling form and you're like, oh, we only need like a touchdown, a field goal, and a safety, and we're covering the spread.
Yeah. Not just a touchdown, a field goal, and a safety.
Yes, exactly. But like people that can do like 17 times 33, like the odd numbers in their head, impressive. Very impressive.
Yeah, I agree.
But like I said, gambling season, we're getting into our gambling form. Week 1 of preseason is in the books. Some teams look good. Some teams look bad. The number one overreaction of all time happens where Justin Fields is the greatest quarterback. Trey Lance is the greatest quarterback. We already know Zach Wilson is the greatest quarterback. Joe Burrow, he's hurt. Is he not hurt? Does he trust his leg? What's going on in Cincinnati, Nick?
Your guess is as good as mine, Kyle.
It's the preseason. It's the preseason. Nobody fucking knows what's going on. Put it this way. I would still buy a Joe Burrow rookie card. PSA 9 or 10.
Yeah. So DJ, number one fan of the show, he just periodically out of the blue just sends me Instagram reels or videos of Jamar Chase doing something really cool. And I've told him to his face, and I'll tell him here over the podcast, I'm not taking the bait. I'm not doing it. You can't get me to bite.
You can't make me believe.
You can't make me believe. I don't care. See, but he did come around and he was like, all I'm saying is Cincinnati might have another great receiver that's going to waste his entire prime on a mediocre football team. And I was like, that is what we do in Cincinnati.
That's a sentiment we can all get behind.
That is, I mean, New England, we win Super Bowls. It's more like Tom Brady. I win Super Bowls. Cincinnati, we waste receivers' careers. That's what we do in Cincinnati.
Yeah, it's true. And quarterbacks too. Carson Palmer. Yeah. Didn't he not want to get drafted to the Bengals? Didn't he come out and say that he like wished he didn't get drafted there? Which I feel like any quarterback
I think that was when he left and went to the Raiders, or he threatened retire. Or I don't think he threatened. I think he did retire, so he didn't have to play for the Bengals again. But that was around the same time Takeo Spikes was talking shit about the Bengals, and I mean, I talk shit about the Bengals and Mike Brown. They're the cheapest franchise in the entire NFL, dude. They had vending machines for Gatorades in the locker rooms, and they weren't free. Mike Brown was like, you're paying the 125.
Yeah, it's a real bitch because you just got to like go to the bank and get like $10 worth of quarters for the year. Because who carries 125, right? You know the vending machine's going to inevitably run out of quarters because you're putting $2 and you got to get 75 cents back, and you're going through a 53-man roster. I would imagine they're drinking more than one Gatorade a day.
Yeah, there was a story, vending machine with Gatorades. You had to pay. And end of the season, normally it's the NFL, it's the pros. You think you get to keep some of your gear, the towels, maybe the gloves, your cleats. Turn that shit back in at the end of the year, along with
middle school football,
along with your girdle and your thigh pads.
Yeah, that was always the worst day of like middle school and high school football, like JV football. It's when you got your pads, and the kids that didn't play before, they didn't know what they needed. So they would grab like a multitude of all these pads and they would leave them in the locker room. I had a coach, shout out Coach Payne, ran into him at the Charlotte airport a few years ago. He came out with like, like those mesh bags that like you carry the kickballs in almost as like a gym coach.
I don't think he came out with this, but okay, go on.
No, he came out with one of those just filled with like thigh pads, hip pads, tail pads, knee pads, just filled to the brim of kids that just grabbed too much shit and just left it in the locker room instead of bringing it back in. And he just sat there and went 1 and threw them up in the air. 2. And for everyone, we had to do a sprint. It was 38. I remember vividly. And after like 15 kids started faking asthma attacks. And then he realized like, this is a bad idea. Like I am definitely,
I don't know if they were faking.
No. We were going side to side across the field.
Okay.
Well, it was only like 40 yards. It wasn't like long, I mean?
I think it's doing 27 and a half.
Okay. So
yeah. Pull that out of my ass. I don't think that's true.
I thought it was 40 yards for some reason, but it's not like we were doing 4 corners or bear crawls or, up downs or anything like that. Like it sucked, but like also you could just jog, right? What was I talked about this at softball the other day. What was your go-to move during like two-a-days to like make it look like you were trying, but you weren't? Like we used to call it the BS bounce. When you'd have to do like laps around your complex, you get really far away from the coach and you just bounce your shoulders like you're running. And they're like, they're just going kind of slow, but they're moving. Did you guys have like a move like that?
I mean, whenever I was playing football in middle school, I was always a tryhard because I wasn't good.
Oh, fair enough.
And I ran track in the off season. So, I mean, I came into the year and I was in shape.
You were in shape. You were ready to run.
If there was one thing I could do, it was run that opening lap for every practice. Because that's how we started practice every day.
One lap around the complex, right?
One lap around the school, just to get warmed up, get the lungs going.
Yeah, like it's a old like VW bug. You gotta get the oil flowing through the engine before you start, right?
Yeah. You can't turn that thing on and get it rolling down the road. No, you gotta let it work itself up.
Yeah,
you gotta romance
thin the oil out. Yeah,
you gotta romance the practice. You can't just go in dry. What are we doing here?
If there's any group of kids, it's a bunch of kids that are starting to go through puberty. Definitely could just strap the helmet on and be ready to go. Like zero stretching required. Have you ever seen a middle school kid pull a muscle?
I don't think I've ever. I mean, before the age of probably 17, I don't think I stretched one time in my life.
No, I used to run and touch the center field fence in baseball, go back to the foul line, do like 5 arm circles. And I'm like, all right, I'm good to go.
Like, I'm ready to go. I'm
rolling. Yeah, like you don't have, as a little kid, you never pull anything. It's amazing. You're just like jello.
Yeah. But I mean, you pay for it at the end of the day.
Oh, when you're in your late 20s and everything hurts constantly.
Yeah, yes. I was listening to Pardon My Take, and I was listening to the Jim Calhoun interview, and he said when he was working as a stonemason, he worked with this Italian guy. And the Italian guy said, "Hey, couple of things. Rule number one: don't bang up your hands. You'll feel it when you're 50. Like as a kid, let me as a former football player, hear it from me first. Stretch now.
Yeah. Stretch now or forever hold your
Stretch now.
peace.
Yeah, or forever never touch your toes.
Yeah. 100%.
By the way, just a little bit of housekeeping here. We were both way fucking off.
We were?
Oh yeah, the width of a football field is 53 and a half yards.
I was 13 yards off.
Okay, but still, what? I'm running
If
53 yard sprints. Count me out.
Yeah, no, fair point. If we did it by the Price is Right standard, I would have won though. Just slightly more than you.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. No, that checks out.
But speaking of, we talked about preseason and gambling brains. Should we go and do KBR bets? We teased it last year. We did it every now and then. Should we let the people vote, or what should we do here?
We did the Scottie Pippen parlay, which I think was over.
Did it not hit once?
I don't think it
definitely did. Negative money. Even if it did hit, we were definitely in the red.
We were down some units.
Mm-hmm. Should we go though? Should we go full KBR bets and do like either a segment? Because eventually we're gonna get back to 2 shows a week, whenever that may be. Should we do kind of like how Untapped Keg does, where they do 1 sports episode, 1 life episode? What should we do? Should we let the fans decide, or how do we handle this?
Okay, here's the thing. Kyle,
well, the fans are never going to say anything.
Here's the thing, Kyle.
DJ,
I would love to let the fans decide, but the fans don't interact, and that's fine. That's okay. It's okay. I don't hate the fans. Love the fans.
Yeah, this definitely is not a therapy session for Nick and I still.
Yeah, definitely not. But if we can rely on the fans, I think that's a good way to do it. We could do Monday. We do pop culture / life. Wednesdays, we gotta hunker down and do some. Or wait. When do we do episodes? Wednesday and Saturday.
Yeah.
Wednesday and Saturday.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ! It's been so long since we've done our actual shows on time.
It's been a while since Nick said twice in a week.
Okay. So Wednesday life episode. But Saturday, I don't know. It's right on top of college football. I don't know. Maybe we go. Maybe we alter the days.
Maybe we go. Yeah, we could do that. We could change it up. Not like anybody's listening anyway.
maybe like Tuesday, Friday.
Do that, or Thursday. Do Thursday night games. You have the Thursday night game, then you have inevitably some college football right on Friday.
Right.
Saturday slate, Sunday slate. You could do that.
I mean, eventually, whenever we do get famous, I mean, we're gonna have to go to 3 times a week.
I mean, that's inevitable when it's paying the bills and not we're paying the bills.
Yeah, not when we're paying to keep the lights on this podcast.
Yeah. If there was like ever a podcast that was like we're bleeding money, like if this was ran as a actual company, we'd be bleeding. We'd be bleeding like a sieve. Is that the expression?
Sure. Bleeding like a pig.
Bleeding like a pig. Yeah. Sweating like a whore in church. We'd be doing that too, because we'd be in the red. But anyway, I digress. So I think that's a yes. Eventually, at some point, we'll do a little gambling section.
Maybe. Yeah. After this move, we'll hit a reset on the show.
We'll settle down.
We'll hey, we need to huddle up, bring it in. All right, take a breath.
Mm-hmm.
We're okay. We're good.
Yeah, exactly.
We're down 6. There's a minute and a half left. We're fine. We're fine.
Yeah. Everything will be okay.
RELAX.
Yes.
Okay, relax. We'll bring it in. We'll go back to the dry erase board. We'll come with the game plan. Jordan from long twos.
Don't know what that means, but okay.
I mean, it's Michael Jordan shooting long twos. That's all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Jordan shooting long twos. Like that's the game plan. Give it to Michael.
Get the ball to the Italians. Little kicking and screaming reference.
Yeah, I'm Italian or perverted. You do.
Yeah, new segment: Italian or perverted. Oh, by the way, I mean we don't get political on the show, but that's just an all-time crazy line.
Spin zone of the decade.
It's like, look, you could say what you want about the mayor and the governor and whoever of any town, but just to be like, hey, look, I grew up that way. Okay, I grew up pinching asses.
I'm not perverted. I'm Italian.
Yeah, he's not bad.
You know his brother on ABC or whatever. It was just
CNN.
Like, Jesus Christ.
He's like, hey, I think I might be sick this week.
Like, hey, you know, conflict of interest. I need to sit out these segments.
Yeah. So I want to jump in here. We're gonna zigzag a little bit. So David Schwimmer, is that how you say his name? Is it Schwimmer?
Yeah, yeah.
Ross from Friends and Jennifer Aniston were rumored to be dating in real life. They aren't. It got me thinking. Any fictional characters, who would you actually want to date in real life? And maybe you can even throw like athletes in there. Like I always said, imagine if LeBron James and Serena Williams had a child. Like how athletically gifted it would be. So like any combination of people, who would you want to see date in real life? Like obviously for me right off the rip, it's easy. Jim and Pam, right?
That's a good one. And it's always weird because like they had such a long-standing romance in the show.
Do you think they ever like yeah, they were fucked, right?
I don't know. I don't,
because it wasn't like that
but
romantic of a show.
Right. But it was weird because like whenever they do like content now together, it's almost like they're exes, you know, like they're kind of awkward around each other.
Mhm.
We're like, I don't know how to act around you and not be in a couple.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like I think they did whenever it was the Blues. Was it the Blues and the Bruins and the finals?
Yes, yeah,
ago?
where Roy sat with Jim.
Right, yeah, and it was like it was weird. It was a weird dynamic. So Jim and Pam's a good one. I honestly couldn't think of one right off the bat, but like, if Dexter fans out there, I mean, the fact that Deb is his wife in real life, or at least was, I don't know if they're still together or not. That was weird.
That's like what's his name in the Channing Tatum in that dancing movie?
Uh-huh.
I don't know the name of it. What was the dancing movie that he did?
Step Up.
Step Up. Yes, he married that girl.
Mike.
Yeah, Step Up, the first one. He married. I only watch the second one when I'm by myself. He married that chick. I was thinking Leo and Margot Robbie, the Wolf of Wall Street. Like
there was some
sexual tension in that room.
I use the gif of him biting his fist. I used to use it all the time because it's so relatable. We're just like, he just that's an Italian,
like I feel like he would say like, oh, maroon, like right after. Like, right? I mean, if it was Sil from The Sopranos and he did that, he would immediately say that right after.
Yeah. Or Paulie would whip his comb out of his pocket.
Oh, did I tell you I got my Soprano shirt in the mail?
No.
I tweeted a picture of it. It's Paulie and Sil outside of the deli, and they're like sitting there. It's like almost like cartoonerized, if that's a word.
Did you tweet it from the KBR or from
my personal account? It is literally like a Hanes t-shirt that they screen printed this on there.
Oh, no.
And I paid like $32 for it.
Where'd you get it from?
Amazon.
Oh, no.
So it's not like I was getting it from a legit store. I would say Rip and Beth from Yellowstone. New show I binged, Nick. Let me tell you.
Super relatable.
Have you not seen Yellowstone?
I have not, no.
Well, let me tell you, you gotta watch it. It's on the cock.
Okay.
You can only watch the first episode for free. That's how they got me. Hook, line, and sinker. They got me. $4.99 a month. What's that? Throw it on the card. I think I might move to Montana. I've said this from the day that I don't know, whenever you get responsibilities in life. From that day, I said, I want to move to Montana and be a busboy and just like work in the same diner and like, you know, you live in a little shack in the middle of fucking nowhere, but like you're in Montana. Like no one's coming to look for you. You're not leaving the state until I realized like that would be miserable because I saw that people live in Montana if you're not really rich. But
I think you just described the how do you say the origin story of the Unabomber?
Oh no, I didn't do LSD at Harvard. Nick, I was not doing LSD at Harvard in clinical trials. I haven't been sending bombs to people. There's some slight, you know, maybe there's a few things that are similar, But I mean, this is not if it walks like a duck, it talks like a duck, and it, whatever the saying is. I'm not the Unabomber, so thank you.
I don't know, the hat, glasses, dark shirt. What are we doing?
Should I go mustache only, like a hoodie at all times? How long do you think I would last being a cowboy?
Oh, 3 days.
You gave me a lot longer than I gave myself because I don't think I could ride a horse for more.
No?
I think my groin would just pop. My legs are essentially like a wishbone. Like if they go to a certain point, they're just gonna break off, like an action figure almost. How you can make an action figure do a split. I would get to like, I don't know, slightly more than what my hips are normally at, and they're just gonna break in two. My toes are gonna touch over the top of my head. That's how it would work. I mean, I
don't know. I'm kind of scared of horses.
So I had a friend tell me once, can't trust anything with that long of a face. And I don't know why he said that, but it kind of resonated with me a little bit. Like beautiful animals, but like I don't think horses are too trustworthy. What do you trust more, a horse or a cow?
I don't know.
I trust a cow way more than a horse.
Is it a bull or is it
no, a cow.
Okay.
Like a dairy cow.
Probably a cow.
I mean, like, I feel like I don't know, because you can raise a horse from when it's a pony, but I feel like if you got in with a cow when it was a calf, and you're like, hey, you're not going to be veal, and they're like, all right, cool, and they just like you feed it, it's like,
so like, are you gonna pull on my nipples? And we're like, no, dude, I'm not into that.
Yeah,
not really my thing.
No, not unless you want me to.
We can cross that bridge when we get there. But...
Yeah, how old are you? No, you're not old enough yet. But I feel like cows don't have as much going on upstairs as horses. I think like horses like kind of know a little bit, and they're like, fuck this guy and will buck. Like as opposed, like you can't even ride a cow.
Yeah, no, I mean,
ride a bull, you can't ride a cow.
Yeah, not very long. 8 seconds if you're lucky.
Yeah, the good ones. Kind of like me in bed. Heyo. Have you ever ridden a horse?
Yes, I've ridden a horse.
Okay. Is that why you're afraid of them?
No, I feel like there's just so many rules when it comes to being around horses. Where
I didn't think there was any rules.
They're like, don't walk behind the horse, don't spook the horse.
Oh, I thought that was donkeys. Is it the same rules as donkeys and horses? I guess they're like almost the same animal. I told Kaylee, if anything, if like I was in that show and I was a cowboy, they'd have to give me like a zebra to ride because those are like horses are too wide. Like,
well, it depends on the horse.
Oh, dude, could you imagine if like that would be such an insult, right? Like you're a cowboy, you go out there and they're like, you ride the donkey. And you just have to ride a donkey all the way around.
Like, why don't you just spit in my fucking face next time?
Yeah. Why don't you just push me off a cliff next? How long would you last?
How long would I last? I mean, as far as I could fucking walk, because like I said, I don't want to ride a horse. Horses scare me. Hello?
Okay, you there?
Yeah.
Okay, you froze on my screen. Let me go back. What was the last thing you heard me say?
How long I could last?
Okay, I'll do the same thing. I'll count us in and then go from there.
Okay, hold on.
Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1. How long do you think you could possibly last being a cowboy? Enlighten me.
I mean, as far as I could walk. Because like I said, I don't want to ride the horse. I don't want to ride the horse. You can't make me.
So would you wear like the chaps and the stirrups and everything? And then you'd be like, all right, time to get on the horse. You're like, I'll catch up with you guys in a minute. And then you're like, oh, sorry, I had a stomach ache. Like how long you could do that? How long you could like draw that out? So that Nick guy, like every time at like 9 p.m., like 9 a.m., he's got a stomach ache.
Or it's just, I get my rusted out Ford F-150 from 1986. I drive up to the ranch and they're like, all right, we're going out to the homestead today. I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to stay here and do some woodworking. The fence needs fenced.
Yeah, exactly. You see this fence over there? It's drooping like crazy. I'm surprised you guys are even going out there. I'll take care of it though.
Yeah, I would volunteer to do all of the manual. Dude, I'd be the townie guy with like the long beard with 3 teeth, just fixing fence posts. And they're like, there's old Jim.
Well, what you would have to do is you'd have to create the work though. You'd have to drive your rusted out F-150 Let's be honest. It's more like a Ranger.
It's
like a rusted out Ranger.
DUI city over here. I don't know what was
Yeah. Yeah. And just every night at like 2 a.m., just go sideswipe a fence.
Yeah. Like,
like your truck's so beat up. It's like, you can't prove it. Like, you can't prove it. And if they do, then you got to take them out back. Learned like a lot of cowboys kill a lot of people.
We call that job security.
Yeah. Ball security is job security, right? Fence security, job security. Can't have your horses getting out. Can't have your cows wandering around. Learn that on the show too. A lot of dicey stuff that happens there. If that doesn't work out, you could always start an OnlyFans and be an OnlyFans cowboy.
Dude, I've got like weird hobbit feet.
So do I.
Okay, yeah, but yours are like novelty weird.
That's like the meanest thing anyone's ever said to me. That is legitimately the meanest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Like I said, you got talking truck feet.
So the reason I even brought up OnlyFans, I'm just gonna ignore you, is because the guys who do our social, they want us to start an OnlyFans, which never gonna happen. Like, I'm just gonna put that on the record. Because you guys want pictures of my feet. I wear Birkenstocks every day. You get those for free.
I know. You need to stop handing out the merchandise for free.
Maybe I'm like a drug dealer. You give your first hit for free, and then you got to come back for more.
But you've already closed the door on that.
Yeah, but not too many people are seeing my feet. You got to come see me.
Okay,
it's not like I sent
you out to a bar. Plenty of people are seeing your toes.
No, but no one's looking down. Like, you're at a bar, no one's looking down at feet.
I guarantee
the foot fetish guy is.
I guarantee I notice you're wearing Birkenstocks. And it's not because I have a foot fetish.
Beg to differ. But realistically, how many social media followers would it take you to start an OnlyFans? Nothing gross on there. Not gross, but like nothing revealing.
Oh, 35,000.
Oh, you're grossly underestimating that. I would say like no less than 300,000.
Oh, you're a crazy person.
Nick, because you got
to give me more followers than Jeff Nadeau, and I'll do it.
I mean, how many does Jeff have?
Like 29,000.
Jeff lost a lot of weight. He could start an OnlyFans. By the way, got to give a shout out to our guy making a return to Pick Central. I haven't listened to Pick Central in months. It was must listen to radio the first time he was back on, and he handled himself like a champ. He, like, gave like the perfect answers. I just slammed my desk. You could barely hear it because it's glass, and I didn't want to slam it too hard. Get Jeff Nadeau back to Barstool. Just gonna go ahead and say that. But the first thing you Google your name, it would be OnlyFans, Nick.
That's okay.
I don't want a potential employer seeing that, because they'd be like, look, he is not nearly hot enough to do that. So some weird shit is going on.
I say, hey, if you want to find out,
how many people are on
OnlyFans.com/
Yeah, you can subscribe to it.
Yeah.
How many people are on OnlyFans, if you had to guess?
Oh, I want to say 20,000 plus.
Oh, I would say, yeah, like way more than that. How many of them are doing stuff that is like not what you consider OnlyFans? Like, how many guys are like giving guitar lessons on OnlyFans?
It's got to be less than 5,000.
Yeah, I was gonna say like less than 1%.
The amount of people on there has got to be probably closer to 100,000 people on OnlyFans.
I'd agree with that.
Probably more, honestly.
Yeah,
but the amount of people that are just giving guitar lessons, or they do their motivational speaking through OnlyFans.
So in 2019, OnlyFans had reached 7 million registered users. Okay. But I don't know how many actual, like, a user or somebody is paying for something.
Right.
So it takes into both. But that's so fucked for the guy that was like giving piano lessons on OnlyFans in like 2017 and just now has to completely change his business model. Like, you can't go out to a bar and be like, hey, like a piano bar, a jazz club, be like, check out my OnlyFans.
I mean, it drives interest. People are like, what's that like?
Yeah, and then they get there. A lot of 1 month subscribers, I'm sure. Like, the cancellation rate is through the roof. Like,
yeah, because I mean, I'm sure their subscription's only like $7.99 a month, and you're like, it's $8. Let's see what this weird dude's doing. And sure enough, you subscribe, and it's just him covering Freebird for 8 minutes.
Yeah, smoke on the water constantly. His daily upload is smoke on the water. Yeah, no, that would suck. Like, where did those guys even go? Like, I feel like you almost have to go back in time now, where you're handing out flyers, like the want to learn guitar, and you have like the piece of paper on the telephone pole with all the little slices on the bottom to pull the phone number.
It's Patreon. They went to Patreon.
Okay, fair enough.
They went to Patreon. But OnlyFans was originally developed for like Comic-Con type things.
Yeah, it was just like a paywall, wasn't it?
Yeah, basically.
Which, I mean, I guess Patreon almost is the bootleg OnlyFans. Could you say that?
It's the Wish OnlyFans. Yeah.
Well, I Patreon became what OnlyFans walked so Patreon could run.
Yeah, I'll get on board with that.
So that way, like the comic who's struggling in Manhattan right now can sell you his stand-up guide. And it's like, you look to the left of the room, you look to the right of the room, you look to this middle, you deliver the punchline. It's like, yeah, dude, anybody that's like watched a YouTube video on how to be a stand-up comic knows that. But you can give golf lessons on there. You could do anything, Nick. One day.
Wait, I'm sorry. We just glossed over. So there's tutorials for how to do stand-up comedy.
That was a Ralphie May thing. I saw a tutorial on how to be a stand-up comic, and I was like, let me watch this. And like, I was like, he basically was saying you have to like interact.
Ralphie May, R.I.P.
Is he dead?
Yeah.
Oh, R.I.P.
Poor guy.
I always get him and Gabriel Iglesias. Which one was dead? Which one's alive?
Yeah, no, Gabriel Iglesias is still alive.
Very much alive. I think he has a car collection, like a massive car collection.
He's also lost some weight. He's healthier.
Good for him.
Ralphie May was still around 400 pounds when he died.
Okay, yeah. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, but I'll never forget. Ralphie May was the O chin.
Don't know.
That was one of his skits. It was funny.
Yeah. Well, why don't you go ahead and tell the joke? Let everyone. Why don't you reenact it? Yeah, no, I don't know if I can name a single Ralphie May joke. I don't know if I can name any stand-up comedian set except for maybe Dane Cook, the
Vicious Circle.
Vicious Circle, yeah. Where I didn't know what his symbol was. The emblem with the 2 fingers. Never got that until I was like 18.
What is it? It's this
one. Doing a little bit of finger blasting, I think.
Oh, it's this?
Yeah.
That's fucking stupid.
Dane Cook took the world on fire.
Yeah.
That stand-up was like hysterical. That I watched it over and over again. For a while, my parents had a DVD player in their car, and that was the only DVD in it. So by default, if we were going anywhere more than an hour, Dane Cook played. And my dad laughed every single time about when he cheated on his girlfriend. He did the triangle dick scrub to get like the scent off his penis. Anyway.
Yeah, that Dane Cook Vicious Circle. Dane Cook's comedy at that time was just so physical. Like the dude was like doing a workout.
He was gyrating on stage.
Yeah.
Borderline sexual experience.
Yeah, but I mean, it was good. It played at the time. I don't know if it still does. I'd have to go back and watch it.
Maybe if we ever get to enough followers, we could make a Patreon where we just go back and watch old stuff and just do a segment. Does it play?
Okay, I don't hate that. Does it play?
Yeah, I mean,
Tropic Thunder. Does it play?
Oh, well, there's some few different. Simple Jack, probably not the greatest. Robert Downey Jr.'s character, probably not the greatest.
It's nuanced. Tropic Thunder is nuanced in the way that it was a parody of Hollywood. So it's like Robert Downey Jr. was playing an actor,
perverted or Italian.
Racist or Southern.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Again, once we get to a Patreon, a certain amount of followers, and we make a Patreon, and we're getting rich from this, which will probably be never, but we'll do a segment, Does It Play? And you guys can pay for us to watch old movies. I completely forgot where I was leading us into something, and then we went completely off the track. Oh, J.R. Smith.
Okay.
I Patreon golf, and then I was setting you up to say J.R. Smith is playing golf now.
J.R. Smith's going back to college.
Back to school to prove to my dad I am not a fool. J.R. Smith is going to be enrolling in NCAA. Go Aggies.
Go Aggies.
And he's going to be playing golf, which I didn't know he was a good golfer, and then I like vaguely remember him and Steph Curry used to play, I believe.
I wouldn't have marked J.R. Smith down as a golfer. I definitely would have marked him down as like having like a side gig as a DJ.
Yes, like very much like Shaq-esque.
Yeah.
I think there's just well,
and
I don't know.
This is solely judging from the fact that this man cannot
Shirtless.
be paid enough money to wear a shirt.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. That and I
feel like shirtless is a real big DJ move.
Yeah, 100%. Or just like a plain white wife beater tank top.
Yeah.
Like I think Shaq DJs in one of those. Fun fact: Shaq DJs something called Doggy Fest, ECU, Sup Dogs. Potentially can go to.
Yeah, because he was the big donkey. Was that one of his nicknames? He has like 37 nicknames.
Yeah, the big Aristotle, the big Cactus, the big Shamrock.
The Anyway,
you got to think though. A lot of people smoke weed on the golf course. Like a lot of guys. Oh yeah, a lot of people go out there and enjoy their vitamin THC. It's pretty wide open. So like you could smoke a joint or have it go. And people smoke cigars all the time. Like as long as the ranger isn't coming around, which most courses that I play at don't have a ranger because I play at the shittiest courses of all time. The tee box to the green, the same length of grass.
You play at the par 3 courses.
No,
every
I play
hole's a par 3.
I play at there's a few par 5s mixed in there. I'm not good enough to play at a par 3. The only thing I can hit is a driver, so I gotta hope I hit it damn close and make up a few shots and get lucky. But what sport? NCAA is D1, but for argument's sake, if you can go back, give yourself how long do you want to say? 6 months of training, 8 months of training, year of training to play a Division III sport. What sport could you pick up?
D3. I could train for a year and go D3 in baseball.
I don't know about that.
You don't know?
Maybe like NAIA. Because there's like a bunch of like, I don't know, maybe you can go D3. I think that like if I got in shape, and I always thought this, I could be a slot wide receiver.
Oh, Kyle.
I could go across the middle.
At a D3 school?
I'm not talking about like Wisconsin Whitewater or like Mountain Union or any of those schools. I'm talking about like.
You're talking about Methodist University, Campbell. Yes. You're thinking of like.
No, Campbell's D1 now. Big South. Campbell Camels. Yeah. Big South D1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So fun fact. Winston-Salem State, like something like that. I think I can go in, get a few catches. I'm not talking about, first catch concussion. I'm not going to be a kick returner, but like I'm like Chris Hogan.
I mean, I didn't want to pick football because you
played football
because I literally almost played D3 college football.
Just didn't show up to campus.
That's
one of the greatest storylines of all time. This podcast. Nick enrolled in school and just didn't show up.
Yeah, I showed up.
Didn't the coach call you?
No, not afterwards. No, but I did. I made sure I had a roster spot. I was like, yeah. And he was like, because I got a quote unquote academic scholarship. And it was, there was no way I was having any kind of academic scholarship. And they were going to pay me, I think it was like $12,000 a year to go play football for them.
In like scholarship money.
Yeah.
12. Look, Nick. I was gonna say you probably like you have like a good like body for like track and field. Like you probably could do like a javelin throw or something like that. Actually, javelin you gotta be pretty damn flexible. You're not big enough to be a shot put.
I said baseball just because.
What position would you play? Like I gave like slot receiver. Like I'm not playing nose guard. Like if anything, that would be the one position I could like that or like maybe kicker if I trained to be a kicker.
I could probably play left field.
No, I would say like right field, maybe. No, right field because the ball slices back towards you. Right field's a lot easier than left field.
Okay, probably right field.
Yeah,
because I've got an arm on me, Kyle.
I recall from talking about softball episode where you let it fly and the catcher just missed the ball.
Yeah, I let it fly from like pretty close to the fence in center field, and it got there before the runner, and the catcher just missed it.
Did I tell you about there was almost a fight in my softball game, partially because of something I said?
Maybe, I don't know. Refresh my memory.
So there is for our softball team, there's an Instagram, and we had like a comeback win against the best team in our league. It's a 4-team league, so it's not like, and we know these guys. They already didn't like us for another reason, but they had a slow guy in right field, and so we made a comeback. We kept hitting the ball to right field, and he just couldn't get there. And so during the interview, the guy was interviewing me. He said the guy in right field had a Madden speed rating of a 46, and I said a 46, more like a 36, and they took offense to that, like very much offense to it. And we didn't know why they were being such dicks. Like they were taking walks in slow pitch softball and then getting a guy to first base and then having a pinch runner come in for him. So like that is not at all like that's not fun. Like it's not a fun way to play softball, right? Like just
swing the fucking bat.
Yeah. Like I took 2 pitches. I got 8 at bats. I took 2 pitches. One I caught in front of my face because it was going to hit me in the face. And the second one, like the dude like threw like a weird knuckleball, and I was like, oh, that's really high. And it like fell in for a strike. And I was like, oh, and I just swung at the next one. Like, it doesn't matter if it's like a strike or not. I swing the fucking bat because it's grown man softball, and who really cares? Well, they wound up having a comeback win against us, and they started screaming, how about that for a 36 rating? And then I said to him, I was like, dude, or in the last inning, they were like taking walks to load the bases to get a walk off. And he said, some guy who's coaching third base said, make him work for it, make him throw strikes. And I looked at him, I was like, dude, you've been walking all game. He's like, you come here to fucking win, or do you come here to have fun? And I was like, I come here to have fun. Like, I come here to like blow some steam off and like get a little exercise, get a sweat going. He's like, yeah, well, we play to fucking win, bro. And I was like,
have fun with that team morale, bud.
Yeah. You peaked in high school, didn't you? Like, where's your Letterman jacket? I want to see it. I know it's around here somewhere. But when we're shaking hands, they did the mad kid in T-ball, like punched our hands. And like, we were like in the dugout, and they like came up to the fence and were like chirping us, like while we were like getting our cleats and stuff off. And eventually I just had to say, I was like, dude, it's rec league softball. But anyway, I digress. And people that care too much about rec league sports, you suck. So I don't know where that came from, but anyway, I just wanted to get that off my chest. We play them hopefully in the championship game tomorrow night. I'll let you know how it goes. Last thing I want to touch on here before we get to our top 5 is Yik Yak is back, Nick.
Let me tell you, if there's one thing I love, it's Yik Yak.
I never wrote one thing on Yik Yak because honestly, I really don't like to like. I'm a lover, not a fighter. That's why I was like almost upset when I was like, oh my God, did like I make that guy that upset that he got this worked up over softball? Like for like a day, like in my head, I was like, I should really apologize to that guy, but I'm not gonna. Because like this isn't middle school. Like it's not like the fastest guy gets all the chicks. Like we're all over 30. Like you shouldn't be fast anymore. Like I mean,
and here's also the thing is like I have enough friends.
Yeah, my favorite line of all time. Like I've made all the friends I need to make in life. Like I'm a simple man. But Yik Yak is back. From what you said, it sounds like you were a poster on Yik Yak. It sounds like I know you said you had a burner account on Twitter. I think you have multiple burner accounts. I think you're an internet commenter.
I don't know. No, I'm not an internet.
You have some internet commenter tendencies.
And that's fine. That's okay.
During playing video games, you would leave the lobby to yell at people that were bad at Call of Duty.
That's fine.
Anyway, so go into Yik Yak, Nick.
So Yik Yak, I'll say one thing. I am so happy that this wasn't as prevalent as it is today when I was in high school.
It was only out when I was in college, thankfully.
Yeah.
Was it your senior year of high school?
I have no idea.
Okay. It must have been my freshman year of college.
Because I mean, I don't know. I think that Yik Yak has spawned a different kind of people.
Is Yik Yak the thing like society almost needs?
Maybe, or it's the thing that's going to just bring it all down.
It's one or the other. It's one extreme or the other where it's like, all right, we're going to toughen everybody up a little bit, or it's going to send us like completely into a downward spiral. For people that don't know what Yik Yak is, it's an anonymous message board based off your geographic location. So like the range is typically, you could set it, I think like a couple miles, but most of the time it's like 5 or 10 miles. Yeah. But it's mostly for the school you are in.
Yeah. I can't wait to drive by my high school and just drop something inflammatory and just drop a bomb at the high school. I mean,
And just
okay, let's
bad
rephrase that.
terminology.
Let's
Metaphorically.
let's
I can't wait to yell
phrasing
fire
this.
in a crowded theater.
I can't wait to go on Yik Yak and say Jimmy cheated on Susie this past weekend, and just drop that off at the high school on Yik Yak and just watch the world burn.
You're like the Joker, like when he's like hitting the button outside the hospital. That's like what you're doing with your phone, just like typing. But what are you going to do? That you would have to like pull over and sit at the park across the street, just like keep refreshing your phone. Otherwise, you would never get the satisfaction.
You go by and you visit with your favorite teacher. You're like,
haven't seen you in 15 years.
Look how great I'm doing. Look how stupid you look because you said I wouldn't be anything, and now I'm like, now
I'm the assistant to the regional manager.
Now I'm doing somewhat mediocrity. And then just drop that Yik Yak off and be on my merry way.
You're an agent of chaos.
Absolutely, I am.
Nick is an agent of chaos. Well, for the people that are still on Yik Yak out there, do the right thing.
Godspeed.
Use it for
see ya in Valhalla.
Spread positivity. With that being said, let's get into our top 5, Nick. So last week, our top 5 was bands that everyone hates that you love. Today is going to be top 5 athletes that you stan, even though they aren't great. I went first last time.
Okay. All right.
You can go first this time.
All right. Oh man. 1-1. 1-1's a lot of pressure.
Well, this is like your personal list. Like
right.
people on my list, like they're not going to know who some of these guys are.
Okay. Number 1 on my list. Oh man. It's got to be John Kitna.
I feel like there's a lot of Bengals on your list.
It was easy to pick from.
Okay. So John Kitna, do you have a reason why?
John Kitna, he was just so surly and so reliably bad for the Bengals. And it was just like, John Kitna was sitting on the throne waiting, like keeping it warm for Carson Palmer after we drafted him. And I never forget, I was at a game. I cannot remember for the life of me who the Bengals were playing, but I was there and John Kitna got absolutely speared. I mean, head first speared in the head, like in like the base of his neck. And I was like, oh my God.
Basically knocked his aorta off his heart.
Yeah. But I mean, John Kitna he was just pure grit and determination.
Fair enough. My 1-1 is going to be Brad Smith. Kick returner, Wildcat quarterback, Missouri great. I'm pretty sure besides for Brad Smith's family, I'm the only person that walked this earth that had a Brad Smith jersey. Custom made because you couldn't get it on the team shop. But the Swiss Army knife. Like I thought the Wildcat was going to redefine football. Boy, was I wrong.
I thought you were going to pick Jericho Cotchery, honestly.
Jericho Cotchery is an honorable mention for me.
Okay. Because Jericho Cotchery was really good too.
Yeah. But like something about Brad Smith just being like, what did he have? Like the all-time passing and rushing for a quarterback in like the Big 12 when Missouri was still in the Big 12?
Something like that.
He had some crazy stat. But anyway, my 1-1 Brad Smith. What's your number 2 pick?
My number 2 pick? Damata Pecco.
Okay.
Damata Pecco, defensive tackle, Polynesian, covered in tattoos. He had that big fluffy hair coming out of the back of his helmet, and he had the smallest face mask for the largest man I've ever seen in my entire life. And I mean, he never put up any kind of stats. I think he retired like 2 years ago.
Yeah, he was playing for the paycheck.
He was playing for the love of the game.
He was Hassan Whiteside, the guy who just keeps signing like 1-year deals with the Heat.
Udonis
Haslam.
Yeah, no, Hassan Whiteside.
He's very good, actually.
I mean, he was at least 2 or 3 years ago. I don't know what happened to Hassan Whiteside.
Anyway, I digress.
But Damata Pecco, great. He was on the Bengals for a long time, and I mean, I don't think he put up more than 2.5 sacks in a season.
Stan. He basically wore the closest thing you can get to a single bar in today's NFL. That's how small his face mask was.
Yeah.
My number 2 is going to be Lastings Millage.
Ooh, that's a good one.
All-time Met great for a total of like 9 minutes. My memories of Lasting Millage was him like hitting like a game-tying home run and then running down the right field line, high-fiving the fans, and then the Mets wound up losing in extras and him just getting ripped apart. Then he like bounced around for a couple of years and like played on the Nationals like in like 2013. But he was like a guy that like can't miss prospect, like all of a sudden was playing like indie ball baseball. But I was like, that guy, like he's got something in him. Lastings Millage is my number 2 pick. What's your number 3, Nick?
Damata Pecco, credit to him, career high 5 sacks in 2015.
Still being productive at the end of his career.
As of 2020, he was on the Cardinals.
Just hanging around.
He's still around.
He's doing high school workouts right now. He's going to 2-a-days and running with the team, waiting for a phone call.
All right, my 3rd pick, Delta O'Neal.
Okay. All-time great name too.
Great name. He was on the Broncos for a long time. Then he came over to the Bengals. The Bengals, he had 10 picks in one season, one year.
I mean, these guys, you stand them for a reason. It's because they have flashes of greatness, typically.
Yeah,
and that's a perfect guy to stand.
Kitna, he was bald. He had the weird face mask, and you wanted to root for him because he was all heart.
Yeah.
He was all heart.
I was gonna say it's either all heart or it's a flash in the pan. It's like one or the other. It's like, why are we gonna love this guy?
Yeah, and the Damata Pecco had the big hair, large dude, looked like he couldn't run a mile to save his life. His stomach was hanging out the bottom of his.
He looked like what's his name from The Longest Yard?
Oh yeah, like the
like
Italian guy.
Yeah,
I need a Diet Coke.
Joe something. He's actually a comedian who's pretty funny. Says a lot of very inappropriate stuff, but pretty funny.
Yeah.
My number 3 pick. This is gonna be a little bit of a deep cut here. Tony Douglas. I want a 2-for-1 here because they're basically the same player, and I think they were on the Knicks at the same time. Tony Douglas and Raymond Felton. Like I don't know if Tony Douglas was fat, but like kind of fat point guards. Tony Douglas never saw a shot he didn't like. The second he got the ball, he was shooting.
Put it up.
Put up shots, right? He was the ultimate pull it. Like when you're watching basketball and you're sitting on your couch and you get like you see the guy get a pass like 8 feet behind the arc, but he's not being guarded, like pull it. He's pulling it. The second the ball touched his hand, he was putting the shot up. And he was a guy, I think I saw him get hot one time, like coming off the bench, scored like 20 points in a game. I'm like, that guy, if he gets hot, he's going to start knocking down some shots.
He's got the it factor.
And then Raymond Felton was just like a fat point guard. So it's like fat boy Felton. He got arrested for carrying a gun in an airport, I think. Not good. But again, flash in the pan, Tony Douglas.
Number 4 for me, a guy that I wanted him to be so good for so long. He was Calvin Johnson before Calvin Johnson. He was the alternate reality of like when Calvin Johnson was drafted, if he was a bust.
Okay.
Mike Williams, the USC wide receiver drafted in 2005.
Okay. I thought you were going to go with what's his name from Oklahoma State, Justin Blackman.
Justin
he was similar.
He didn't have the size. He didn't have the size. Justin Blackman was like 6'1".
Oh, I could have swore he was like 6'4".
No, see, here's the thing. Justin Blackman was like 6'1". I thought Michael Crabtree was 6'6" when he was getting drafted, because I don't know what it was, but in those Texas Tech uniforms, he made corners look tiny.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be unreal in the NFL. Good career, but like,
yeah,
Michael Crabtree.
Don't get me wrong. Michael Crabtree, long, productive career. Good, not great.
Yeah.
Not Hall of Famer.
Did he like sit out half the first season?
Yeah, he had a foot injury.
Yeah, okay. That's what it was.
But Michael Crabtree, when he was coming out, I thought he was like the next Terrell Owens.
Yeah, that's fair. That's very fair.
My number 4, Mike Williams, USC wide receiver, ended up with Seattle for a couple years, never amounted to anything.
My next one is a guy who's still in the NFL. Trenton Cannon. Just really fucking fast. And I was like, if the Jets can use him in the right system, he could be great. And every now and then he'll break off like a long kick return for the Panthers and like should be on the Jets. Should be. And I'll like text my dad like Trenton Cannon 40-yard return. Trenton Cannon just scored. Still want him. I don't know why. Nothing about him. I have no tie to him whatsoever. He probably had like 4 career touches on the Jets, but I'm like, that's a guy who, if he gets in the right system, he's gonna be a fucking Pro Bowler.
My last pick might be a pander pick here. Danny Woodhead. I loved Danny Woodhead. I wanted him to be a Hall of Famer, like first ballot Hall of Famer more than anything in the whole world.
And that's just the short white guy in us. I mean, like, you're not a giant, Nick.
Taller than you.
That's very fair. And you're above average. But it's okay. The unathletic white guy. How about that?
Okay.
Even though he was like weirdly, incredibly athletic.
Yeah. But I think it was just the story behind it where he was a D3
Chatham State.
Chadron State, all-time NCAA leader in rushing yards. I was like, he's got a shot.
This guy, he's going places.
Yeah. But then I found out he was like 5'7", 165 pounds. And I was like,
maybe.
All right.
His 3-cone drill. Fantastic. Very low center of gravity. Did he just play for the Jets and the Ravens? Or did he play for another team in the middle?
He played for like 4 teams. He played.
Yeah, but I thought he was only a practice squad on one team.
No, he played for the Jets.
Chargers. He's where he got like signed.
Well, he was on the practice squad for the Jets. Got cut.
Then he made it to the Jets, though.
Okay, but then he played for
Patriots,
the Patriots, the Chargers, the Ravens, and then back to the Patriots, I think.
So for the Patriots, he was only on there for like a few games and then like maybe a season, but he got paid, I'm pretty sure, by the Chargers. Pretty sure he got like a decent paycheck from them. While you're looking that last one up, mine, Benny Agbayani. Like all-time Met great. Nobody else knows who the fuck Benny Agbayani is, though. He's in that realm. He was the black jersey Mets, like the early 2000s, like grit and grind Mets, just like a guy that like would just work at bats out, solid in the field. I don't think he ever hit above like 225, but you just rooted for him. Benny Agbayani, my last pick. Whoever you're, the listeners out there, send us a message or send us a tweet of your all-time stand guys. Is there anybody else that you have for honorable mentions?
Yeah, who was that center fielder for the Padres that he came up when he was like 19 years old, and he was like that first iteration of like young
Xavier.
No, not Xavier.
Xavier Nady. Xavier Nady was a guy who came up like super young.
Yeah, he was in the same like. Oh man, it's gonna bug me. Not Delman Young. He played for the Padres he played for the Padres for a long time.
I don't know. BJ Upton and Justin Upton came up young. I have
really good radio.
I have not the slightest clue, Nick. I was going to say Ryan Church is another guy. He was a Mets great. The Mets basically killed,
but he had like
he was in the
same vein as Lastings Millage.
Nick, I have no idea, but I was going to say Ryan Church, the Mets don't get enough hate for this, essentially killed him. He had like an incredibly bad concussion. They were like, how about we put you on a flight? Like the one thing you're not supposed to do with a concussion. They're like, how about we just put you on a plane?
Yeah.
But while we're trying to figure that out, if it'll pop into our heads, Nick, where can the people find you online?
They can find me on Twitter at Fumblin' Bumblin'. They can find me on Instagram at KneeBraceNick. Kyle, how about you, man?
Kyle_Craig4 on Instagram, Kyle_Craig36 on Twitter. All social media is going to be at KneeBrace Radio. Give us a like, comment, share, subscribe, the whole 9. You know what the deal is already. Don't forget to check out the YouTube. That's where our top 5s are going up. Full length video of the top 5s. Shout out super producer. Find him on.
Cameron
Maben. Great call. He revived his career a little bit with the Yankees. If you need any editing work, is DJ running the Instagram? Yeah, right.
DJ's the guys stuff.
Yeah, we have it now. We're assembling a team of people. They need to start tagging themselves in the videos so that way everyone knows who they are. But until next time, we'll catch you later.
See you.
Peace.